Hi, my name is Jane Scarf, and I'm coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I wanted to talk to you today about the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Lord's Day. One of the first things that the government did once the Charter came into effect, that was way back in the 80s, was go after the Lord's Day. And that was under Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. The Charter was his baby. And I'll put it in the comments. We have an article written in the 60s showing all of his communist connections, and he ran for the Communist Party and all this stuff. He was definitely a communist, and he brought in, well, the Charter is a communist document, which is too much for this video, but I have done videos in the past that show the specifics of the harm that has been caused and will continue to be caused when you invoke the Charter. But I wanted to specifically talk today about the Lord's Day. That day was not a religious holiday. There was no requirement, no pressure from the community at large to celebrate a Christian whatever convention of Sunday being a religious day. That day was, in effect, a day for the family, a day of rest for everyone, the same day. And by having the same day, the family got to have that day to spend together. They could go to the picnic, go to wherever activity, go to church. Many would go to church, more so back in that day. And then along comes Trudeau on his communist trip, and he wants to take a good swipe at the family. So that was one of his first kicks at the cat. And the claim was that this is a Christian religious day, and so that was a violation of other people's religious rights. Well, at the end of the day, did they make a change such that whatever day it happened to be that your religion celebrated, you had the right to get that day off? No. At the end of the day, nobody got it off. So what we lost was not just a day where we could go to church if we were Christian and celebrated Sunday as a religious day, but we lost our family day, our day of rest. And our Constitution is supposed to be based on the supremacy of God. And I can't quote your Bible, I don't know it all that well, but I have been told that in the Bible, God declares the Sunday as man's day for rest. So it's not a day that was excluding other people, blah, blah, blah. It was your family day. And they didn't replace it. They didn't say, well, okay, let's not do Sunday, let's do a different day. And they didn't say, okay, let's not just have Sunday off, let's have a right to have whatever day, if you're a 7-day Adventist, you could have Saturday off, or whatever the case might be. So I think we have to redo this, and redo it in the context that, first of all, the Charter was did not receive royal assent, so it's not even a legal document. And secondly, that's a fundamental change of our rights. So that wasn't done through amendments to the Bill of Rights, which is still in effect, and it wasn't vetted through the process of making sure that whatever changes are made are in respect of the Bill of Rights. And it violates the Bill of Rights in two fundamental ways. One, the bill says that we're committed to placing the family in a prominent position in our society. So that would be a violation of that. And it also says it recognizes the supremacy of God. And if it recognizes the supremacy of God, then it needs to adhere to the principles that signifies. And I'm repeating myself now, but one of those is that the seventh day be a day of rest for man. So we need to revisit this again. So maybe somebody who's forced to work on Sunday and can't spend that time with their family or go to church ever, because they have to work every Sunday, maybe that person can raise this again and say predominantly we need to respect the family and have some day, at least one day a week, and if they don't want Sunday, put another freaking day. But there needs to be one day where everybody can guarantee that they can be with their family, have a meal with their immediate family and their greater family, you know, the extended family, I mean, and go to church if they want, or go to other activities. We need that back again, and we need that back again very quickly. So if anybody is interested in that, if they're forced to work on Sunday, there's a small group of us just starting out here, looking at doing this up and bringing it under the Canadian Bill of Rights, and if they bring that charter precedent up, we'll negate that precedent by saying, you know, the process, like the Supreme Court is not supposed to be making law. There was law that superseded what they did there, and the charter is not a valid piece of legislation anyway, you know. So I think we'd have a really good legal chance to bring and you could change the name of it if that offends some. You could just call it the Day of Rest, or the Rest Day, okay, and then you could still have the same properties as what it had when it was called the Lord's Day, but it just could be called Day of Rest, because that's what God specified anyway. So then everybody could use that day as it was intended, as family and a day of rest, and a consistent day, so that you can, you know, share that with your family. So that's my thoughts of the day, and I want you to have a look at the Bill of Rights and see how much more superior it is. It's working for dozens and dozens of people who have been working with Stand For Thee and using the bill, and the charter's not working. The Church of God lost their case. They used the charter. 7 churches in Manitoba lost their case. The TTC lost their case, all with the charter. And the courts are saying, oh yes, your rights are violated, but it was justified under Section 1, therefore there's no violation of the charter. Well, you can't do that with the bill, because it's just, you can't violate the rights. So you, once it's established that the rights are violated, then they have to do something to rectify. So it's much better, and we need to really focus on that. And one last thing, we are going to be celebrating the signing of the Bill of Rights, which was done in 1960 on August 10th. So we're going to celebrate the whole week. And on the Wednesday, we're going to have a coast-to-coast host to John Diefenbaker, who was the Prime Minister who brought that bill in. He's actually the one who wrote it and promoted it for years and years and years, and did all kinds of things to change, to make things better, or to promote better equality in Canada after it was signed. And so the Wednesday we do the coast-to-coast toast. Sorry, I was going to say host, for Diefenbaker. And then any other day that anybody wants to set up a celebration, we want to see it right across Canada. So far we have, we're just starting, but Windsor, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and likely, we haven't reached out yet, but we'll likely also have Calgary and some of the cities and areas in BC as well. And on our end, like in Ottawa, we're going to have a day on Saturday, a family day, where there will be activities for the kids all day, and in the midst of that, there will be a workshop on Trudeau for treason. It'll be explained why he's committed treason and what we can do about it, and so on. And then a potluck dinner, and then a dance. But you can, you know, anybody can set up whatever kind of activity they want, and we can share material with them, share ideas, and we can promote, like we can share the promotion. You know, we can put it on our website. Rebecca has a huge mail out list now. I think it's 12,000. It can go out in that, and that's for people right across Canada. So she can announce where your event is, and contact information, stuff like that. And if you're looking for people to help you do it, we can send one out early and say it's been announced there and they need people to do this or that or the other thing. So we should really do this up. They tried to have a big celebration for the 40th anniversary of the Charter, but it tanked because people are catching on. In the freedom movement, I would say it's pretty predominant that the Charter is, that the Charter it's got loopholes and it's a communist document, all that, and that the Bill of Rights is the way to go. So, just, I know I said that was my last point, but I want to also say the invocation of the Emergency Act, very problematic because it was done illegally. And if he gets away with that, then we're under martial law. We're under, snap of a finger by the Prime Minister, and he can wipe out all your rights, yada, yada, yada. That's not what the Emergency Act says. It's supposed to not be through the Prime Minister. It's supposed to be through the through the Cabinet, and with royal assent, the whole treatment that it's been invoked. And then once it's invoked, it gives extraordinary power to the Prime Minister to make law temporarily without passing through Cabinet. And then it's supposed to be confirmed by Cabinet again in 7 days to make sure that everything's going, according to. And as well, he didn't have grounds to bring it in, so he didn't pass it through Parliament. He didn't have grounds. It's supposed to be severe danger to the lives, health, and safety of citizens. There was no danger. The police have confirmed that. Police didn't shut it down. If there was danger, they would have shut it down. They could have shut it down, but they didn't. And they didn't ask the federal government to shut it down either. So they didn't have grounds. They didn't use the right procedure. And as well, the preamble of the Emergency Act says that they can't violate your Canadian Bill of Rights, Charter rights, or International Covenant of Social and Political Rights. And they did, severely. And they're continuing to, because they're persecuting people who protested there with criminal charges, and there's even some still incarcerated. So it's a very severe violation of rights that went on there. So we need to really, hold their feet to the fire on this. And there's a Senate committee, not Senate, it's a joint committee, so Senate and House committee right now looking at it, and they're doing a pretty good job of bringing out the facts in the case. But we need to make a strong public noise that we want Trudeau charged with treason for doing that, because what he did is the very definition of treason. He used violence to undermine the government, and he did exactly that, because the government is the whole Cabinet, which represents us all. He stepped up with 3 ministers from the Liberal Party and did that up. Not legal, not democratic, and not going to get away with it. So that's it for now, and I'm done, and I'm just going to leave you with the hashtag we got this. Not sure how to turn this off. I don't know how to turn this off. I haven't done YouTube for a while, and I don't see any button to tell me to turn it off. So sorry, that's gonna